a small. I wear extra large.
Completely missed the mark.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Belle. This is DS.
And the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
And you know that I'm the twink of this channel, and I've got my daddy here. It is Effy. Yes!
Look at my estate. Look at my gardens. Look
I
at my
know.
home.
Bougie during this quarantine time.
Luxury.
So Effy is the daddy of wrestling, the gay god of pro wrestling. He is finally here. I'm so freaking excited. For some unfortunate people that don't know you yet, please introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Effy. I beat up kids. I like to bleed from my head, and I like a lot of gay stuff. And I was supposed to have a big gay show with gay performers. People from around the world were supposed to come. And it got taken away with the coronavirus for now.
Yes. Effy's Big Gay Brunch was the event that I was looking forward to this WrestleMania time because girl bye, Cameron was supposed to make her big return there too.
Cameron was going to make the biggest return by getting one-on-one an opportunity after 4 years of being out in the ring with Jamie Senegal, who is someone who I think is hot right now, but also is still underrated. Ariana Andrew had been training so hard, had been working with, some schools out in Southern California. She's still sticking with it. She's still training through the corona, you know what I mean? We're still going to get it hopefully one day.
Everyone in that event seems so positive to make this great event, so it's going to happen soon. I'm so excited for it, and I'll be there for sure.
Yes, please be there. I want you to report on how much energy there was in the building, because there will be.
Let's jump right into this week's review, starting from SmackDown, and I have to start with honestly my favorite promo of this year. It's Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Oh my god. And then when Sonya Deville walked in, I thought I was looking at Lita with her cargo pants and the see-through.
Yes,
and then with the chain.
With the chain too.
For sure. Definitely big Lita vibes, for sure. I thought
especially with Mandy looking like Trish,
But it was the voice change that just made the whole room fall in love with it.
Oh.
And then she just went into that devil voice.
Yeah.
You're like, somebody's here to win now, not be a scorned lover.
I knew that I liked this Otis Mandis storyline, but I always thought Sonya was secondary in this story. Within like 2 minutes of her promo, she just elevated the storyline into something serious, and I loved it.
I thought it was amazing. It felt like she believed it, so I believed it for sure too. And you could really tell when somebody really stands behind what they're saying and what they're doing when they buy into it, and makes everybody else watching buy into it as well. And I think what I love about this storyline is what like the mid card was missing, because I feel for years and years there hasn't really been a really good mid card storyline that's really have brought people in and has actually like dimensions and like twists and turns. So this one I'm like, yes, finally somebody else is doing something besides the top people. So I really like that it's still going. So I was kind of thought it was going to be over, so I'm so glad that there's another dimension added to it. Sonya did a really good job of selling the whole like, oh man, here it is, she's gonna confess her love to her and be like, oh, you selfish bitch, practically. So
I'm guessing we're gonna get a mixed tag match out of this that I think will be really fun. My question here right now, and I think what's up in the air is like, is this whole Money in the Bank pay-per-view gonna take place in this kind of like otherworldly version of WWE that exists inside Titan Towers? Does that mean the whole pay-per-view is gonna take place in this dastardly world and things are just going to be intertwined? There's an opportunity for this to get really weird, and that's why I'm watching Sonya, who's clearly aligned with Ziggler and working with him. I'm watching Otis, who is defending his woman, and she's trying her best. It seems like a normal tag match could happen, but I don't know if we're going to get that or if we're going to get some sort of otherworldly theatrical thing that happens with them that's like a street fight within this building.
You know what I'm really nervous about this feud though? Because Sonya was like,
I can't do that. That's absolutely no talent. You have no talent.
I've got all the talent. I've got all the charisma. And then in the ring, to be honest, Sonya was owning Mandy with her charisma. So I was like, Mandy, you gotta step it up.
I think Sonya highlighted something really important too right now that we're not thinking about as much. The whole WWE developmental system has finally hit this ring point where all the people that you're seeing on Monday Night Raw have been through this developmental, have been through this process. And Sonya being able to be out there and be like, you've been with me this whole time. We've been here for 5 years. Y'all may not have been seeing me on TV for more than 2 years ago, but we've been here working hard together for 5 years. And that builds into their storyline even more because you get to see that these girls have been connected through their employment for this long time before they've even gotten to this stage.
Yeah, there's that realism there, and that makes it so much more good.
Like you mentioned, Effy, like the whole pay-per-view being in Titan Towers, it'll be funny, like if their matches like in the conference center or like in the break room, like it just use like all the different rooms. And
I mean,
Titan
Otis
Towers
is always
and
around the catering. So it makes sense that it could take place.
You work there, right?
Yeah.
That's the building you worked at, right?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of cool rooms, so I think it's going to be very, very fun time. So next one is, I guess, like a number one contendership, but just for Tamina. So it's Sasha Banks versus Tamina. Before the match start, that t-shirt interaction.
This is a small. I wear extra large.
I was like, what?
Okay.
They're trying, I guess. I don't know what that would. That's a little too be a star for me.
Yeah,
It's
right?
weird, yeah. Last week, Tamina slayed with her promo, so she got to show it on the ring.
It was kind of hard-ish. Like, there's so many times I'm like, ooh, but not in the good way.
Okay.
Like, I'm
Okay,
like,
are we allowed to get real about Tamina's push right now? 100% real? Here's the facts, y'all. That Dark Side of the Ring episode about her dad came out 2 weeks ago.
oh my God.
And they are not trying to have any bad press about any snookas. So they are giving that little Tamina push to say, can y'all keep your mouth shut while the TV show's on? And they are keeping their mouth shut, which is why we're going to see a little more of Tamina this summer. Just that's the facts. It's not a conspiracy.
I did not know that.
That is so I
Yeah.
never put two and two together. But
Her dad was very possibly a murderer.
I am gagged.
Sorry. The
No.
reason people like Effy is this. I will talk incredible amounts of shit about people, but I know I'm going to get my ass kicked and survive it. As long as you see me get my ass kicked, it's okay that I said some scandalous shit backing up to it. That's why Tamina's getting a push right now. Good for her. Y'all know Tamina, and this is not ageism, but Tamina is like 44 years old. She is one of the older divas in the division, and I think she's someone that like is probably a mother backstage to some of these girls who are
To
going
mother.
through crazy stuff in their life. And so I think they want to see her succeed too. And like when you're motivated with the people you're in the ring with, you're going to put on a better performance. And so hopefully they use Tamina in this Money in the Bank match to sort of elevate the rest of these performers and make everything more cohesive.
I think Tamina, whenever she's in multi-women match, and she's been in a lot of them last couple of years, she hasn't really been on a singles match, but always in the multi-women match, she showed great stuff. She always hit that super kick really hard, so I was ready for the singles match. This match, I was a little worried.
Yeah. I think the thing though with her is that she doesn't leave her feet a lot. So a lot of people have to wrestle around her. And she's she's not like that she has like a huge moveset or anything, but what she can do, she does well, but it's actually like a shorter list. So I think people have to like wrestle around her, and I think that's why she works so well in multi-women matches, because there's a lot of people moving around her where she doesn't have to, like do too much and really like expose her like not so strong side. So
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it a little bit harder to see her in a one-on-one match as opposed to like a multi-person match for sure.
Some of the spots in the match that Tamina did was amazing. The super kick, so great. But there were some parts that was like, ooh, what's happening? Like, the part where Bailey was distracting, just kind of like let Sasha go. I don't know. And then Lacey Evans came out to save everyone.
Is she a babyface now?
Oh, wait, Effy, don't you have story with Lacey Evans?
I don't think she's a great person, but I don't feel like she cares whether I do or not. So stay on me.
Well, she is face now, so she's like a Captain America now. That's like her whole thing.
Of course she is, while Vince is helping Donald Trump reopen America in a pandemic. Of course Lacey's a babyface in that timeline. Mrs. Dash, they make different flavors of seasoning, and literally you don't have to know anything about flavor. As long as you put that on your chicken, maybe even your side dishes, it'll have more flavor. That's my final thoughts on Lacey Evans.
Oh my God.
I really like some of the work Bailey's been doing. I thought she had a great WrestleMania showing, and I haven't spoken to anyone about that. Watching that Fatal 5-Way, I thought she did extremely well, and she kept the focus on her. I know the story was there with her and Sasha, but she really kept me watching her, which, sometimes Bailey can fall into sort of whoever her opponent is, but she seems to have her own sort of standing at this point, and that's exciting to see, and it's good that she can keep with her friend Sasha. It's always fun to work with friends,
Like you and the legendary guest Eye Candy Elliott.
Oh my God, Eye Candy. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all this. When we were doing all those stories with me and him, and it was sort of like, are they lovers? Are they just friends? Are they enemies? We had one of the matches that we had, and I had stayed at his house because it was like a free place to stay in Chicago. We were hanging out. We were good friends. Sorry, they ruined the kayfabe. And we went to get Starbucks the next day, and I was just like, I need a nice coffee. We went in. We saw someone who had been at the freelance show the night before. They saw us together, and I looked at him, and I was like, you can't tell anyone. But almost having people sort of hyper aware that we were hanging out with each other made that story even more fun. And so when we were out there doing those matches, it was just like the people of Chicago were interested, and that makes it so much more exciting.
You know what's really funny? Elliott was working me when we were filming. I was like, were they actually dating? I was so confused.
My fiance is upstairs. He doesn't know he's my fiance yet, but he's upstairs.
All right, let's move to the last match of SmackDown. Dana Brooke versus Naomi for the Money in the Bank qualifier. This was a shocker. Yeah.
I was shook.
I have very strong opinions about one part of this match. It's very hard that we are having to perform without fans in the building. But Naomi has taken it to heart to keep things with the fans very interactive. And I think fans have designed her last 2 sets of ring gear, which was her Mania gear and that gear from Friday. The one from Friday with this match with Dana Brooke was some of the best gear I've ever seen her in. I thought she looked fantastic. Dana Brooke looked good too. And I don't want to make this all about fashion. Dana Brooke was matching, and Dana Brooke works really hard. And someone close to me said one time, the most important thing in this business right now is that you are making an effort. And both of these girls made an effort to look good. And I thought this match looked good. What a shocking ending, and what an opportunity.
Opportunities. Enough.
You mean opportunity? But yeah, this match turned out to be really fun.
It was just a showcase of both of their athleticism, because I think Dana Brooke and Naomi are probably one of the 2 most athletic women that they have on the roster. So it was really cool showcasing both of them, what they can do. It did surprise me not only that Dana Brooke won, but also with the sunset flip. What? When was the last time somebody won a match with a sunset flip? So that was definitely surprising as well. But it was a really solid match, and I hope Dana, I think she's like the underdog, like the dark horse to win it all, and I hope she does, and I hope she has a great showing, because she really puts in a lot of effort. I mean, she's improved so much.
I totally want to see that, because with Shayna and Nia Jax, I hope they just clash into each other and then Dana just takes it. And especially with Raw, their qualifying matches being so predictable, this came really fresh. The commentators and even the backstage segment with Carmella, they built Dana to be like, oh, she's a complete underdog and we don't see her winning anything. And she won, so that was very surprising. So well done on the storyline part. But what do we think of Naomi losing, though?
Is Naomi out for good is my question, because it just feels like she's such a staple of the women's division. Has been a little bit underutilized, but I think that she could be someone that could really make this match go from a good match to having some legendary moments.
Especially Naomi's one of those women who are super legendary, having those crazy creative spots, whether it be in, the Royal Rumble or ladder matches or anything that she could jump off of or do something creative with. I think Naomi could definitely add a lot to the match that hasn't already. So hopefully she has another chance.
At the same time, this match already has so many big names that WWE is pushing so hard. So maybe it is better for Naomi to stay away from those people. But I do have to say, I am really sad that WWE did drop the ball on Naomi, because she came in from Royal Rumble so hot. But WWE just drops ball on so many people, like Sasha Banks. She returned with that blue hair, wig snatching, so hot. and they didn't do much with it. So it's sad that they are dropping balls with this hot returns for some reason.
The big issue right now is you have to sort of book backwards, and I know that breaks the kayfabe here, but you have to think about, like, they're already doing the filming for Money in the Bank. They're having to put out this live product. There are so many factors that could go into why a talent couldn't be there for certain filmings, why they are picking particular talent. They can't necessarily keep on with everybody 100% because there's very likely, like, Naomi could just as easily say, I don't feel like traveling right now, or I don't feel like going to Connecticut right now. I live in Orlando. I'm comfortable traveling there. There's a lot of factors that you have to think about with all the booking right now that sort of, like, there's no rules anymore because everything's up in the air.
That's a very fair point. Yeah. Raw, we kicked off with Shayna Baszler versus Indi Hartwell. Have you guys worked with Indi?
I've been on a show with her before. I did one of the Rise seminars that Indi was there, and like that streamer weekend, hung out with her backstage and stuff. She's from Australia. She's really young, but she's really good. At least the matches that I saw with her that weekend. So I actually almost forgot that she was signed. I was like, oh yeah, she's signed to NXT. So it's awesome to see her on Raw. I mean, even if it was, getting her arm broken by Shayna, but good for her. But she's really good. She's talented. She's another Australian girl.
I thought she got a lot of good moments with her facials in, because when you've got a match like this against Baszler where they're building her up as this completely annihilating force that's going to break your arm, that is not playing by real rules of wrestling anymore, there's only so much that you're going to get in. And she got a little bit of offense in. She got a lot of that facial suffering in, which can really put you over. And what a cool opportunity. She hasn't been with NXT that long, but now that you're in the Performance Center because of these particulars happening because of the pandemic, she's got an opportunity to get out there, and I'm sure she gave the best showing possible given the bookings.
I think she looked great, reversing some of Shayna's earlier moves. All the Shayna's vicious attacks, she sold it so well. I could empathize with her. I felt sad for her, so I think she definitely did her job. What do we think of how Shayna's being built heading into Money in the Bank?
She fits her role and her character perfectly. I mean, because that's legit. She's like a badass and could probably break anybody's arm if she really wanted to. And she has really good facial expressions too. And like that moment when Indi did reverse something, she looked at her like, what? And like her too, I thought she was just gonna leave again, because like last week in her match she just like did that to Sarah Logan and just left, and I thought she was gonna do that again, but she comes out and brings another ladder. But I think they're keeping her very vicious, very intense, and I think that's definitely needed in the women's division, because I feel like a lot of times like women are maybe like in the same intensity level, but with Shayna I think she definitely brings a different form and way more intensity that is definitely true to her, and it doesn't seem like she's playing that character either. She is that character. So
she is a character I've never really seen presented like this before, because there's nothing about her that they present her as glamorous. She's got the shadows in her eyes, but it's not even like a Ronda Rousey shadow where it was going for a glam look. She's not cutting promos like she's trying to get the fans on her side. She's not putting out cool merchandise. She is there for one reason. She's there to win, and that frustrates a lot of people, but it's also like, it's sort of that Brock Lesnar formula of if you make somebody so indomitable and so unbreakable and so not worried about the things these other people are worried about, be it the fashion or the shirts or the fan interaction, it takes away some of their weakness. And I think she's really good for the division, because she seems like somebody that anybody you put out in front of her right now is going to get decimated. And that's something you haven't always had in the women's division, especially because the characters have always had to hold up a certain bit of glamour and a certain bit of high fashion.
Shayna is currently being built very similar to how they built her when she was first introduced to NXT. WWE is taking like a little step back because she got so much backlash from the fans, and they're trying to build her right. So I do like this approach of building Shayna back again.
And actually, even anybody who faces Shayna, I think gets that like emotional connection, because like, oh man, she's really beating her up. So even with like Indi Hartwell, I think it helps her out in the long run, because she did sell so well and you're like emotionally connected with her. So
who is it?
It's my dog.
Oh, my dear dog.
Come here. No.
I want to see her.
She just went back in her bed.
So much of a tease. So let's talk about the next match. Creative team ran out of ideas, so they decided to recycle last week's match. So it's Kairi Sane versus Nia Jax, the rematch.
But it did give us an opportunity to see another Asuka promo. She sort of overtook the room. Everybody else is still operating as if they are in wrestling, right? Because they don't know any other way. There's no audience. They're just still posing and standing. Asuka is acknowledging the bizarreness of the situation and leaning into it as much as she can. And she's not only being the most like annoying heel if you're just a casual viewer, but like to us that are watching, she's showing this psychotic world where she's just like, I'm in control and I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to make noises. I'm going to dance. You're not going to know what I'm talking about. And we're going to inflict punishment. And it's just the most fun to watch out of everybody. I'm a little worried. I think Kairi Sane might be leading the WWE soon, if I had to guess, because why not give Nia Jax another impressive win? Kairi still had a lot of fire in her, still had a lot of heat in her tonight, but Nia was dominant and they want Nia to look dominant right now. She's going into the bank.
I thought it was like, oh, okay, why though? Like, why would you have this match again? But all right, cool. But I did like appreciate Asuka and Kairi doing their cute little weird dance backstage too. Them cutting back to Asuka watching, I think just adds to the match itself without even Asuka being out there. There was one part though that she was working her knee and then she's like, oh no, I can't pick her up. But then she still finished, the finish was still a Samoan drop, which I'm like, what happened to you selling your knee when you just couldn't carry her? But that's just me being a picky person because I'm all about, I think it was what it was. I don't think it was either nor significantly better or significantly worse than last week.
No, though, I did like that they told a different story. They are building Nia Jax, but they're also building the fact that she has critical weakness coming back from the surgery. Just like Asuka had random wrist injury before Elimination Chamber, and that was used against her. And I think that's definitely going to play a part in this match. And I'm just like really confused about this match just in general, because they have to like climb up stairs to go there. I've been playing tons of Final Fantasy, so I'm wondering, because you know, like in games, if you have high power, you have like low speed, you know, so like, is that gonna affect how quickly they go up to that room?
Is there an elevator?
Yeah, like
secret route?
Like, how's it all gonna work out? Like, so I am excited to see what kind of mess that we're walking into.
I know, is there kind of rules like do not use the elevator, you will be disqualified if you use the elevator? That's like the
you
only
can just
rule.
climb the side of the building.
Right?
Hope she doesn't fall off that building.
It's a very tall one too.
That's a threat. That's a threat in this match. You can fall off the building.
And let's talk about, well, everyone's talking about Sarah Logan.
Oh my God. I feel so bad. This poor girl gets released on Black Wednesday. Everybody gets released. All the people, including Sarah Logan, and Monday Night Raw is live tonight, and who are they talking about? Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan, Riot Squad member Sarah Logan. Watch Sarah Logan with Shayna Baszler. Here's another Sarah Logan clip. This poor girl better be getting an extra check, because that's not fair to get fired, and they still going to use you for ratings, still going to push you on the TV. My God.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Sarah Logan rumor that's going around right now, but she was mentioned so many times, I legit thought this was going to be a triple threat match between the Riot Squad members. It almost got the vibe of the last match of this feud, of the Riot Squad feud. Liv Morgan versus Ruby Riott.
I don't think it's the last match.
You don't think so?
I think Liv Morgan got this pin. I think there's going to be one more encounter with these two. I think Ruby's going to have to lose a little bit more, and I think she's going to come back with even more edge. Ruby Riott is an incredible performer, someone who is fun to watch when they were on the independent level, but now it's like I almost feel like they have a lot more trust in her, and not just because they're both dark characters, but I get sort of the Paige vibe backstage, which is they both have a little bit more pull because there's a trust level in them as a performer, even though they haven't been there that long. And so I'm hoping that she can kind of assist with this feud and making it have a little meat behind it, because Liv is coming out. Liv is getting bigger. Liv is going to be a big deal soon. And I think they trust Ruby Riott to put her into that spot. As we saw tonight, you know, Liv took the win.
I just think a lot of people are sleeping on Ruby Riott's ability of cutting a promo. She does great promos. She delivers great promos with intensity, with emotion, and that doesn't seem like I'm just reading lines that I just memorized off this piece of paper. Like, they're very believable, but I really love her promo, and I think a lot of people don't acknowledge that. But the match was good, and like Liv Morgan has improved so much. By far, definitely has surprised me. I legit thought it was just going to be like, oh, another pretty girl that wants to wrestle, but no, she's worked hard. She's improved so much, and she's definitely on the rise. And I think she's just going to keep on getting better and better as time goes on. I just don't know too much of what's going on with her gimmick right now. It kind of made me miss her old gimmick a little bit.
Are you missing her blue tongue? Is that what it is?
I am. Okay. Yeah, definitely like the whole blue tongue. It was kind of, it's just a small little thing, but it was different and it was memorable. Because I always feel like people who are just like watching wrestling, if they don't know who they are, they're gonna like, oh, the girl with black hair, like which one? Oh, the girl with pink ear, well, which one? And then this time, if they're watching like Live or Lives on TV, we're like, oh, the girl with the blue tongue, so you're gonna know exactly which one she is.
And talking about Ruby Riot's good promo, like I love the last sequence of this match when Ruby was like, "I own you," and then she just got like defeated right there. It was so good. The build, I loved it. Effy, so if we are continuing this feud, what do you want to see from them?
I know what Ruby Riott is capable of. Like you said, with her cutting a promo, one thing that we sometimes lack at the independent level, sometimes we're just put in these random matches. You know, it's two people who are booked on the same show. It doesn't have real build. It doesn't have real stories. So as performers, we sometimes have to take that portion into our own hands. And she used to do that a lot and would build these stories up and give them a little more meaning and wasn't scared to show a little edge. You know, on the indies, if you're too bad of a bad guy, you're not going to sell much merchandise. But there was a few times where she really took it to that level. And so I'm not saying necessarily they need a full-on gimmick match, but I would like a pay-per-view length match for them to get it out and really showcase where Liv is at and what her strengths are. You know, not diminishing Ruby Riott, but she has that ability to make somebody look even better than they are.
There's definitely a lot more story in them. It would be disappointing if they just cut it here. So I definitely want to see pay-per-view match, at least pre-show, preferably not pre-show.
Give them a full 10 minutes. Come on.
Yeah, so after filming the whole review, I was gonna go wash my face and see what Twitter is up to. And I just realized there's 2 more matches. After the third match, I was like, this is probably it. And I just started filming a review. So I had no idea we had 2 more matches. In order to review the remainder of matches, we brought our favorite Phil. Thank you so much for coming in, filling in. Let's talk about the match. So the Queen, Charlotte Flair, she's doing all the shows, isn't she? Huh?
I'm surprised she's on both Raw and NXT. I expected her to be only on NXT.
Charlotte Flair has arrived to Raw, and she's having a match, and it is against Kayden Carter.
I thought it was entertaining for what it was. I thought at first it was just going to be like a squash match, but I thought it was pretty good. Kayden looked really good for what she was given. It was cool to see her on Raw again.
She didn't like show entire fun stuff that she usually do, but she had some solid offense on Charlotte, and that was really interesting. Do you think this is her telling the audience that she's not going to bury NXT, but she's going to bring the best out of NXT people?
I'm not sure. I think it was a concerted effort to put more NXT people on Raw. But I can't tell if that's because they're already at the PC or if that was just the plan. I'm not sure.
So what do you think of this whole Charlotte Flair winning the title? I mean, you weren't very happy when it happened, right?
I wasn't really happy. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I mean, I think like she's good at promos, so she's going to cut good promos. Like I have total faith in Charlotte in that. I'm just still not sure if it was worth it to put the title on her. I don't know if it has given NXT the boost. I mean, they've won in ratings 2 weeks in a row, so maybe I'm wrong.
That's true.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
I think it's interesting. They're already lining up opponents for Charlotte Flair. So we've got Io Shirai, and they're out of nowhere talking about Mia Yim. They're really telling us, like, we've got Charlotte versus Io. We've got Charlotte versus Mia. It's going to be great. They're, like, enticing us to like this reign.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. When she talked about it tonight, I was like, wait, she's challenging Mia too?
Yeah.
There's 2 ways I could think of that. Maybe that means she's going to get a good defense in against Mia, and maybe she'll drop the title to Io. Maybe one of those are going to be the match at Money in the Bank, because it doesn't seem like Becky has a match for Money in the Bank yet.
You're right, because she's not on the poster.
Maybe either Mia or Io is going to be the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, also, during this match, Charlotte hit Kayden really hard with the arm, and you could hear the boom. Damn.
That elbow looked really, really stiff.
But I loved all the talking, all the shit talking that Charlotte was doing. I think Charlotte's very good at telling a good story.
I forget who said it, but somebody said all of the people that are thriving in the no crowd matches are people that have been used to working matches where there's like 5 people in the room, and all of the homegrown people have kind of struggled. And I think tonight Charlotte kind of proved like she's picked up enough where she knows how to kind of carry a match too with no crowd.
Let's move to Bianca Belair versus Santana Garrett match. This was like a 6-7, more of a longer match. This was definitely not a typical jobber match, I'll say. Bianca really showed all her arsenal. She just like, this is all all the gift I'm bringing to Raw, and I'll pack it and I'll show it all to you. And I loved every single one of it.
Bianca looked really good. This was kind of a strange match for me though, because you had the Street Profits like yelling throughout the entire match. I mean, it was funny at first, and I was like, all right, guys, all right.
I kind of loved it.
Like, where the heck has Santana Garrett been? Like, I know she's been on main event, but I don't want to say she looked bad in this match, but it was kind of some rough spots in this match for her.
Yo, okay, let's talk about Santana really quickly. Okay, so Santana is a veteran. She's wrestled in many, many places. Impact, she did Mae Young Classic. She also was a champion in WoW and Stardom. Okay, so the way she sold Bianca's finisher was not good.
No, it did not look good.
And did you see main event match too? She sold Liv Morgan's finisher almost the same way.
I don't want to jump all over because I like Santana, but the last few matches I've seen have been kind of wonky from her.
When WWE hires those veterans, mixing them up with the more of the rookies, they want them to base the rookies and make them look good. I mean, that's one of the roles they're thinking from the veterans. And Santana, I don't know if she's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. And she hasn't been on TV that much, which is surprising because when they first signed her, it was like a big deal. It's been strange so far.
Yeah,
but this was a good match. It just was weird, her participation in the match. And then, like I said, you had Montez and Angelo just yelling on commentary.
I honestly loved it. I lived for it. I think Bianca was having a lot of fun during that match. I think she was like just laughing.
I didn't expect them to be doing it for the whole match. That it was just like, what? Maybe they were trying to yell over Lawler so Lawler didn't get a chance to talk. I don't know.
I actually thought this was perfect. Like, Bianca had enough time to show all the special moves that she's got. Her husband was cheering out there really loud, just screaming out there. It was perfect. I thought that was a great showcase match.
Kind of surprised she didn't get a qualifying match.
I wonder how that's gonna go. I think the dream match that everyone's talking about right now is, of course, Street Profit versus Usos with Naomi versus Bianca.
Yeah, and I mean, they've already done a 6-man tag match with Selena, so I don't think they're gonna redo that one.
I'm loving that WWE is definitely showcasing that Bianca is the hottest new star in Raw, and Bianca is eating that up. I wouldn't be mad if Bianca challenges Becky for the title for Money in the Bank. Either Liv or Bianca challenge for the title.
Yeah, Liv's another one. I was surprised she didn't get a qualifying match. No, I don't think it matters anyway. I'm starting to get this weird feeling that Shayna's gonna win. I don't know. I'm really getting a feeling Shayna's gonna win.
Honestly, this is like a freaking Crouching Tiger. What? Flying Tiger? Crouching Tiger. It's my favorite movie, but I can't.
Crouching Tiger.
I don't know the English name. I don't know English name. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's like that situation because there's Nia Jax, and there's Shayna Baszler, and there's Asuka, and then there's Dana Brooke. So I honestly want to see Dana steal it when all of them are just like fighting with each other.
Opportunities. Enough.
I think Sasha's gonna win a qualifying match.
Oh, you think so?
Sasha's who I think should win a briefcase.
I think that would be a really fun storyline for sure.
I think it would be great, just her just teasing that she's gonna cash in on Charlotte or Becky, and then just all of a sudden cash in on Bayley.
All right, so that was this week's SmackDown and Raw. Thank you so much for joining. And Effy, I've seen your salacious photos out there with the little
boxes.
Little boxes on your area. Tell me a little bit more about your t-shirt.
Okay, so I have one rule, and this is important right now for people to hear, and I don't give a shit who hears it, because there are people who need to hear it. Pay a good graphic designer. I make cool shirts, and I sell a lot of shirts because I pay graphic designers that understand what people want to wear on fabric, out in public, to be seen in. Guys, it's not hard. If you just got released, pay a graphic designer, pay him a few $100s, get something that looks really good that people actually want to wear. You might sell a lot of t-shirts because of who you are. But you'll sell a lot more if they actually look good. So pay designers. I pay designers. I pay a lot of great designers. If you go to my Pro Wrestling Tees, there's all styles of shirts. Shirts you can wear at church, shirts you can't wear at church, shirts you may not want to wear in public, shirts you can definitely wear in public.
You also have a cologne line, right?
Yes, I have both my own genderless fragrance, unisex fragrance, called Daddy by Effy. It is available at Black
Where can I
Phoenix
get it?
Alchemy Lab. They make a lot of wonderful scents for drag queens and performers. So that's available. You can go smell like me. The beard oil is great. I need to shave. Go get an 8x10. I don't know. And then come hang out with me on Twitch during the quarantine. We're twitching.
Yeah. Paloma, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Paloma Star. And I do want to say happy birthday to my very own graphic designer. See,
Yes.
we were talking about graphic designers. And the guy who actually helped produce and make and wrote and sang my badass entrance music, Richie Manta, at T1AO Official on Instagram. He's a pretty cool
T1AO
guy.
Official.
Got it.
Love him.
Yeah.
And you can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Belle DS on Twitter. All right, bye.
Bye.